This is the video on the roulette game. Here is the blue note box. It says first select the bet amount in the blue box 1 to 9. Here is the blue box, and here the values are 1 to 9. Right now the bet is set to 1. If I would click on the 9, it would be set to 9. I'll go back and click on the 1. Second, it says place the bet amount in one or more of the boxes by clicking on the box. To remove, click again. I'll put my bet on red. Well, I could change the amount of my bet. I'll change it to 2, and I'll bet 2 on even, and I could change it again. Bet 3 on 1 to 18, or if I click again, that'll go away. If I click here, that one will go away. Third, it says spin the wheel by clicking on place bets, then click here box. Well, that's this tan box. I'll click there. The wheel spins. Where does the ball end? The ball ended up on black, and we had bet on red. Well, we lost one. Instead of 1,000, we have 999 now. Well, fourth, it says you will see the wheel stop and the table cleared. The bank is adjusted by the bet and win, and here we see it was. Next, it says for expected values, click on Markov Chain at the bottom left. Well, down here it says click for Markov Chains. I'm going to click there. It says this is the Markov Chain program. It calculates the expected value given a transition matrix. It is for red, black, even, odd, and low, high. One chip is bet each time. You must enter the stop values for after losing N chips, after winning M chips, and after S spins. Well, down here we see we get to enter how many we will accept losing. Here it says 1, and it says we're going to stop after winning 1, and it says we're only going to spin 1 time. Well, here is the transition matrix for that, and it says 0.526% of the time, or that fraction of the time, we're going to lose, and 0.474 fraction of the time we're going to win. Well, because we only spin it 1 time. Well, let's change our amounts and see what happens. Let's change the amount that we accept to lose as 4. And we will stop after we win 4. Notice our transition matrix has grown to reflect the fact that we're allowing 4 steps down and 4 steps up, 9 altogether. But if we look at our expected outcomes here, well, we can't possibly lose all 4 because we only spun the wheel 1 time. So let's change that now. Let's change that to 12 times. Now, it was a big difference now. Now we have a 32.6% of losing all 4 of our chips, and we have a 21.4% chance of losing our 4 chips. And here are the other probabilities. The probability is 14.9% of the time we will end up, after 12 spins, with 2 chips. 4 chips, 19% of the time. 6 chips, 12.1% of the time. Alright, this is what Markov Chains will tell you. This is the transition matrix, and over here it has the expected value for, if you were going to allow it to lose 4, win 4, and go 12 times, it says your expected value is 3.496. You started with 4 chips. Alright, that's the end of Markov Chain. We'll go back to the game. A number is picked by using a frequency table and a random value. Then it says here we click Next to go to another note. I click Next. You can change the expected number of occurrences for each number. Click on Adjust in the red stripe, change the occurrence values, then click the blue Adjust. Alright, up here in the red stripe is Adjust. I'm going to click Adjust. Well, here's the table that shows what is the frequency for each of the numbers. The numbers go from 0, then 1 through 36, and then double 0. There's 38 possibilities. Here it has each in a frequency of 4, though it says the total number is 152, is a total of the frequencies. And it gives an after and picks. Alright, so we click the Adjust in the red stripe. Now we're going to change one of the occurrences. Let's say we want this one not to be just 4, but to be 400. Whoop, that's 499, I'm sorry, 400. Alright, now let's go back to the game. We're going to turn Adjust off. And now we're going to spin the wheel and see what number comes up. What do you know? 0 came up. Well, that's because its frequency was 400 compared to all the others which only had a frequency of 4. Well, let's go back to Adjust. We best change this back because that's no longer anything like a fair game if that one can occur 400 times in, as we see down here, in 548 times. So we're going to change that back to 4. Alright, it's 4 again, so now they're all 38 times 4 or 152 possibilities. Well, here it says the higher the occurrence value, the more likely the number will be selected. And we saw when we changed 0 to a frequency of 400, it was almost guaranteed to select it. Now it also says you can test the expected number of occurrences. Click on Test in the red stripe, check the results, then click Blue Test. Okay, I'm going to turn off Adjust. I'm going to go to Test. Well, here it says results after 9,500 picks. Each is expected to be 250 picks. Well, it's random, so it's not always 250. But you can see a couple times a second, it reruns the test again. The expected would be 250 for each. You can see sometimes it is, but most times it's not. We'll turn test back off again. Now we're back to the game. Here in the red stripe are programming options you can take. For instance, here is you can click on Program and go to the program. Here is the first part of the Roulette program. Over here we see that there are actually 5 different programs. Program 0 is Markov Roulette. Program 1 is the win program. 2 is the adjust and test programs. 3 is the build the wheel program. And the 4th program is the Markov Chain program that we recently looked at. Here is a listing of one of the programs. Over here in the blue boxes, it gives you options for programs. Down here in the brown box, it gives things that you can use to change the programs and make them functional. And at the bottom here, we have an example of building an application, a routine thing that you can use, and a lot of YouTube videos about how to program. Alright, this is the option called Program. To go back to the game, we click this blue box which says Execute the application. The application of Roulette. And at the bottom of this screen, there is a list of other HTML5PCODE apps, such as Blackjack and Box Delivery and so forth. Alright, this is the end of the video on Roulette.